Clippers vs. Mavs Game 5 was interesting. I enjoyed it. It definitely was not, what Dame did last night, but sometimes you just have to move on from games that good. I thought that this game was pretty entertaining. It seemed that the star power was out. Luka playing out of his mind. I'll get to him in a little bit. Kawhi was a little lackluster this game, but he played okay. He was getting doubled on every single play down the stretch, and as unfortunate it is that we don't get to see him play just because the defense the Mavs are playing is so suffocating for him. Paul George had a pretty good game up until the end. He made a couple mistakes, wasn't hitting shots, maybe took one that wasn't necessarily the best shot he could have gotten. First off, Luka Doncic had a fantastic game. The Clippers were down, or the Mavericks were down like 15 at one point, and about 5 minutes later, they were up 3. And I think Luka and Tim Hardaway were the only two players that scored. Luka was incredible, as he always is. He's involved in every single play offensively, and he holds his ground defensively. He is nothing to be, nothing to write home about, but he is still a decent defensive player. And offensively, he is fantastic. He is, just as a second-year player who had a lot of doubters coming into the league, is outperforming by tenfold. It is crazy what he's been able to do. And I'm willing to say he's a top 10 player now. He has kind of been on the edge for a while for me, just because it's hard to deny the talent of other players that I think might be more deserving just because of their track record. But 2 years into the league, and Luka Doncic is a top 10 player, and there's only room to grow. He's not even like 10 on the top 10, though. He's like 8 or 7. I might make a list on my top 10 players in the NBA when the playoffs wrap up, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. But Luka was great. Porzingis was a little bad. He was kind of just a spot-up shooter. That's kind of what he's been turned into, just because he hasn't been able to do anything. I'm not saying that that's the Mavericks' fault. I'm just saying that Porzingis hasn't been what he's supposed to be. So in order to even get minutes, he's just a spot-up shooter. He's a good spot-up shooter. I mean, he's 7'2". He hits the shots. But, when you're paying a guy that kind of money, when you traded for him like they did, it's upsetting to watch if you're a Mavericks fan, I have to say. To talk about the game a little bit, I thought that Boban and Kristaps shouldn't have been on the floor at all, and they were at some points, which was a little confusing to me. I think that's what allowed the Clippers to gain some momentum and rhythm in the second and third quarter. And overall, they just started to kind of hit their shots after, defensively, Boban and Kristaps can't hold up against it. I just don't think that they're fast enough. I think Boban is big and Kristaps is a great defender, but he was playing the 4, and I don't think that he was standing up to what any of the Clippers were giving them. I just thought that was slow. A lot of what was happening was they were driving. Boban was there, but he's not great defensively unless they're in the dunker spot, and Kawhi would just hit a little step back and fade away over him because Boban, although is massive, is not fast enough to get to that step back from Kawhi. Reggie Jackson played fantastic throughout the entire game. He is what Dennis Schroeder was supposed to be for the Lakers. He has been fantastic for the Clippers. He's a big reason they were even in this game to begin with, especially with, like I said, Kawhi didn't have his best performance ever. And PG-13 was playing pretty well. I mean, he had a good game all the way up until like 3 minutes left in the fourth. He had 23. He was shooting like 58% from the field, 50% from 3. He was playing good, making good decisions. I think his plus-minus was like plus 15. And then the Clippers collapsed. They did. Nothing was hitting. They couldn't get any sort of a rhythm. Kawhi wasn't doing a thing. I know he's getting doubled on every play, but he didn't even get the ball in his hands for more than 5 seconds on any possession. And that has a lot to do with the Mavericks defense. But I also think it has a little bit to do with, the Clippers offense and how it isn't structured around Kawhi like it should be at the end of games. Even with the Mavericks' suffocating defense, they should have some guys cutting to the basket a little bit more to give Kawhi an ability to even play make. Like, he's not... Sometimes a player is taken out of a play scoring-wise, but the impact of that player allows for somebody else to be open. Kawhi has that impact, and he has court vision and can see that. But I don't think the Clippers are doing a good job of allowing him to do that. I don't see enough cuts. I don't see enough rotation or ball movement or anything. It's a lot of ISO. It's a lot of Paul George, can you save us? Reggie Jackson, can you hit this three? Zubac, can you finish this? Like, can you do anything to help Kawhi? And they're relying a lot on their depth, which they do have. But is it enough to get past Luka Doncic, who's playing great? Tim Hardaway, who's playing great. This Mavericks team, in general, is just playing really well together, and I think the chemistry and the way it's built and everything is just a good match against this Clippers team. I think Luka would give any team trouble, obviously. I personally think that if any team in the NBA were to play the Mavericks in a 7-game series, the Mavericks could squeak 2 easily from any team. I think they could possibly even do that to the Nets, who, in my opinion, are the best team in the NBA and will win the NBA championship. So, with that said, that's a lot on just what happened towards the end of the game. Terrence Mann made a really stupid play at the end of the game. He had the ball. They were down 3. No, they were down 1, actually. It was 101 to 100. And Terrence Mann comes down. Literally, it was pretty much a wide open shot. It was a wide open shot. But he decided to kick it back to none other than Zubac missed. Kawhi and PG, Terrence could have gotten it to one of them. He didn't. And at the end of the game, it was the downfall for the Clippers. And although they didn't play great, they did pick it up in the last minute of the game. They were hitting threes. They came back from a 10-point deficit with 2 to go. I was impressed. They played well, and then Terrence Mann screws it up as much as he did. If I'm a Clippers fan, I'm livid because now they're down 3-2 to a team with Luka Doncic who can give you 40 on any night. And at that point, I'm praying that Kawhi turns it on like he did in Game 3 and Game 4. He turned it on. He hit a button, and he turned it on. And this game, I thought he could have turned it on a little bit more. And that has a lot to do with the way the Mavericks play defense. I know I've said that. But at some point, you got to say, Kawhi, you got to step up. I know you're getting doubled. But take advantage of those doubles and make something happen other than scoring. And I don't think he's been doing a great job of that, especially in this game. But that's going to do it. This has been a pretty good series so far. It's 3-2. Mavericks are looking to close it up in Dallas. Are they not? I believe it will be in Dallas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it'll be in Dallas. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to continue to do these recaps as long as I possibly can with the time I'm given. So I got a new setup today. I got a new monitor. I'm looking good. Graduation presents came in. So hopefully I can get this game up even faster than I would be able to usually. But with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.